are we getting for Christmas, Mummy? We're getting the Investigatory Powers Act. Oh, what's that? It's something that'll keep us very, very safe. How will it keep us safe? It'll keep us safe by watching over us at all times. Oh, Mummy, do you mean like God watches over us? It'll be watching over us just sort of like a digital God. Yeah. So they've finally gone and done it. The House of Horrors has passed the Investigatory Powers Act 2016, which is essentially the fulfilling of a dream by somebody called Eric Blair, George Orwell, the fulfilling of the prophecy involved in the novel 1984. And, well, when I say it's passed, there was a lot of newspapers that said it had passed for a very long time, but actually it was still in ping pong, which was like going between the houses, the two houses of horror. But it has now finally passed, except there's one last stage. You may be aware that it's the Queen's constitutional role to protect the people from the possibility of the passing of corrupt laws, and it's called royal assent. So it hasn't yet got royal assent, and the Queen of course has veto power. In the United Kingdom, royal assent is the final step required for a parliamentary bill to become law. Once a bill is represented to the sovereign, or the sovereign's representative, as in her clerk, who I believe is a military Freemason, I'm sure that's not important, he or she has three formal options. Firstly, the sovereign may grant royal assent, thereby making the bill an act of parliament. Secondly, the sovereign may withhold royal assent, thereby vetoing the bill. And finally, the sovereign may reserve, that it is to say, defer a decision on the bill until a later time. Under modern constitutional conventions, the sovereign acts on the advice of his or her ministers. Since these ministers most often maintain the support of the Parliament and are the ones who obtain the passage of bills, it is highly improbable that they would advise the sovereign to withhold assent. Yeah, they did it. They've done it. And now comes the normalization of mass surveillance. It's something that people slowly and incrementally have been getting used to, because they're slowly introducing their high-tech strategy for safe cities and a safe environment for everybody. Of course, the safest person in the Investigatory Powers Act will be the Prime Minister, because due to the Wilson doctrine, dating back to like Harold Wilson, the only way the Prime Minister can be surveilled is with permission from the Prime Minister. Of course, it's a dream come true for that building there, MI5 and MI6 in the distance, somewhere over there. Dream come true for them, because they're essentially now just going to have free reign on the total surveillance of the cyber world. I did say in a tweet, but because not many people really follow me on Twitter, so sad. I'll say it again. The Investigatory Powers Act, all it really does is legalise the industrial scale hacking of the general public that has been going on for 17 years, or about the same time that mobile devices first started to appear. So ever since the technology has been available, they've been exploiting it and exploiting everybody for their own strategic advantage. I did make a video absolutely years ago about surveillance and the idea that essentially people are being urged to kind of worship surveillance and to feel that it's a sort of an honourable thing, or rather they feel that surveillance brings them protection, and so they're willing to sort of give up various rights for that protection. And I called it a digital god.
We're not really allowed to know who they are for security reasons, but they have access to knowledge that is godlike. It's like a digital god. That is essentially, I think, why so many people worship surveillance. It comes with a promise of protection, as if you are being protected by some all-seeing, all-powerful entity like a digital god.
And I think if you were to stop anybody in the street and you ask them about how they felt about surveillance, they would of course give you the well-worn and hypnotised principle that is emanating from their minds, which is like, oh, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about. I haven't got anything to hide. I don't mind the gambling commission searching through my internet history. But I think you'll find that people really do mind being tracked and surveilled, and that is why, for example, since the iPhone 6, due to too many companies trying to track your whereabouts using your Wi-Fi signal, mobile location analytics, since the iPhone 6, all iOS devices have had MAC address randomization, which means that you can't really be tracked, you can't be identified as to who you are. So the fact that the open sort of business market has modified the devices to be resistant against surveillance is in direct response to how people feel about their devices being tracked and hacked. Well, I guess it's a trust thing, really. Do you trust the people who work in that building behind me? Do you trust the people who work in MI5 in that building behind me? Because I certainly don't.